Okay, so this is just a quick review of our dividends payable, and this would be cash dividends payable, and this would apply to common or preferred stock cash dividends. Basically, if you remember from AC 102, you have your declaration date, you've got the date of record, and you have the payment date. Cash dividends become a liability, and generally a current liability, on the declaration date when the board of directors declares them. Okay, so there's really nothing really complicated there. The only things that you have to be aware of: preferred dividends in arrears. These are dividends on cumulative preferred stock. The board of directors have not declared the dividends on them, and so those are just dividends in arrears. They are not a liability until the board of directors declares a preferred dividend. Then they become a liability. Stock dividends, never a liability. The common stock dividends distributable is a stockholder's equity account. Okay, so let's just quickly look at this. You have your cash dividend declared of 50 cents on 100,000 shares. This is the date of record. Corrected some of these, but not everything. Okay, so on the declaration date of February 1st, that's when the liability comes into being. Date of record, that's just anybody who owns the stock on that date will receive the dividend, so that's the memo. And then on the payment date, you reduce your liability and pay out the cash to all your happy stockholders. Okay, let's look at customer deposits. These are advances. So the company, you could be a landlord and you receive a security deposit on a short-term apartment rental. That amount is not yours. That's due to the renter when they leave if they haven't destroyed the apartment. So basically, you would debit cash and credit your customer deposit. That's a liability. You owe that deposit back. There's a lot of different circumstances where that can arise. Okay, and then our unearned revenues. Let's look at those for a minute. These are where the company has gotten the money, but they have not done the work. The performance obligation has not been satisfied. So the cash has come in, they have unearned revenue. So these are season tickets like this, magazine subscriptions, your frequent flyer programs, things like that. So the cash comes in. This is for a frequent flyer. Someone buys a ticket, they get 10,000 frequent flyer points. So if the points are equivalent to $200, that's a liability because sometime in the future the airline owes the customer that flight. So they book the revenue of 6, the unearned revenue related to the frequent flyer points, and the cash. Let's look at a couple of other ones on this. And hopefully this is just a real quick review for you. Here's where a customer agrees to build, the company is going to build a garage for a customer starting April 1st. But in February, the customer puts down a deposit to make sure they're on the list and they'll get their garage first. So cash unearned revenue on February 1st. When the job is completed and the customer pays the balance, then they can book the 60,000 revenue for it, and the cash that came in later and the unearned revenue has now been earned. Okay, and then you get the Red Sox tickets. Okay, so here's the Mass Bay student, did all the homework, got a 3.5 GPA, runs a successful business, and now can buy a box seat to the Red Sox. This is something you can all strive for, unless you hate baseball. But anyway, so you prepare the one seat in the Field Box 72 sells for $11,308. That's one seat, and there's 79 games. So cash unearned revenue when you buy the ticket, the season ticket. So they'll get the 11,000 cash. They'll have unearned revenue because they haven't earned it yet. But then on April 9th, when you go to opening day and enjoy that ball game, then they have done the work. The performance obligation has been satisfied for that amount. So you take the 11,308, divide it by the 79 games, and that's how much revenue the Red Sox can book after that game. Okay, So that's your unearned revenue.